Hello, my name is Nick, and I would like to welcome you to my series on my BPT journey. This presentation is my own opinion and is not endorsed by any other group. During my journey, I sat both exams multiple times, and it took me 7 years to complete the process, which may sound like the opposite of an endorsement, but through this rocky journey, I had to keep reflecting on and reapproaching this process from numerous angles, which provided me with what I consider a number of useful insights which I intend to share so that you may have a smoother journey. However, this is not a rule book, and I want you to simply incorporate the points which help you. This presentation is the third in my 10-part series on my BPT journey and focuses on the consolidation phase. At some point, everyone will feel a little lost. Usually this is after you're well into learning the content but are yet to start practice questions. In the vastness of the content, it is hard to see the horizon, to evaluate the distance you have traveled and how much further there is to go. You might not even be sure you are heading in the right direction. And to be honest, this is something that you will most likely experience a number of times during your BPT journey. But, as it often happens in the consolidation phase, I will address an approach to it here. When you are lost, the first thing to do is get your bearings. And to help you get your bearings, it is often useful to reflect on the path that you have already previously traveled. So take time to reflect on your first year of BPT. What elements worked, which didn't, what needs to change? As I allude to here, another reason I associate this reflective process with the consolidation phase is timing. As it is usually the best time during the consolidation phase to make these changes because one, you have some understanding of BPT and its content, but two, the pressure of exams is not too close, and so that you feel that you have the capabilities to make the necessary changes. During this reflection, it is important to identify knowledge gaps. Probably identifying your own knowledge gaps is the most important thing to help you pass your written exam. So once you've reflected and you've identified these holes, you should then make plans to plug them. I would particularly seek intensive weekends offered by your hospital or other groups that focus on particular fields. I know that my hospital particularly offered an intensive infectious disease course over 2 days, which I found particularly useful for plugging my gaps in this field. With respect to courses, during the second year of BPT, you will most likely attend one of the 3 big BPT courses. All have been providing assistance for many years, though each has slightly different focuses. I would therefore recommend considering having your study group attend at least 2 different ones to pool knowledge. Another consideration is what location is best for your style of learning. Some need in-person experience, others prefer to be at home, while others have moved to more isolated locations by themselves or with study buddies. I heard of groups of people sitting the online version of the same course would rent an Airbnb together, where they would spend the week getting up early to watch the course, discuss any questions over lunch, and then relax in the evening before doing it all again the next day. Are you ready for the exam? Many people, when approaching the written exam, will question if they are ready. My benchmarks to help make this decision were how I was performing in the hospital-organized tutorials, not only answering the question correctly, but being able to articulate why the other answers were wrong, and my own evaluation against my study group. These considerations are also useful for adjusting or improving your preparation as part of the reflective process. In the lead up to my first opportunity to sit the written exam, as I was not consistently passing the tutorials or the practice exams, I elected to defer, which I still believe to be a correct decision for myself. The year you plan to sit an exam, be that the written, the clinical, or both, is a big year. So the best thing to do is to lighten the load as much as possible beforehand. Selecting rotations that are less tiresome, learning techniques to manage stress outside of stressful situations, and if you know you have some trouble with public speaking, getting an early start to overcome this, as this is an unavoidable part of the clinical exam. My key takeaway from this presentation is when you're lost, get your bearings before forging ahead. Or in other words, make sure to incorporate reflection into your process. That concludes my presentation on the consolidation phase. Thank you for watching and good luck on your journey.